Good morning.
It's
Good
the
morning,
8th,
Alan.
8th of November. Rabbi Levitt, Pele, Yoetz.
Okay. Okay, so we are okay. Here we go. Oh, we are up to Ben. The subject of Ben. Okay. So, who would you like to start off today? Roy says he has an upsharing. He's not going to be, looks like he's not going to be here.
Let me know if the noise of the drilling in my background is bothering you. A son will honor his father and mother, as we already wrote, and we'll write about more about this. However, now I have come to include the thing in brief form. There is no reiteration without some novelty. Hence, there is a mandate for the father to treat his son according to his years, his character, and his intelligence at a given time, sometimes harshly, other times softly. It is the father's responsibility to weigh his words with care in such a fashion that the son will respond positively, not go astray. This requires great understanding and additional patience so as to behave in moderation in accord with the immediate need. Person must not withhold from a child moral chastisement, nor must he chastise excessively. Parents should not speak briefly when he needs to speak at length, nor should he be verbose when he ought to be concise. The father is also responsible to teach his son Torah and to marry when he is of age, as we wrote in its place.
Okay. All right. Right. So that's the. A lot of responsibility on the father, isn't there?
I think this fits in with Toldos. How do you bring up two boys who are different?
Yeah. So, oh, look who's coming here. Mayor is coming in today. Baruch Hashem. Baruch haba, Mayor.
Let's see. Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom.
Very good. How's everything now?
Well, things, Baruch Hashem, are progressing well.
Oh, Baruch Hashem. Halavai weiter.
Yeah, amen. Thank you. Thank
Baruch
you.
Hashem. Srot tovot. Yeshua v'nechamot.
Amen.
Okay. So. Right. So basically what we come out from here is what the Pele Yoetz is saying is that the father has to know his son. He's got to know him. He's got to know him, and educate him accordingly. So that's what he has to take into consideration. It says it requires great understanding and even more patience. So in order to behave in moderation in accord with the immediate need. Wow. Okay, very good. Okay, we go on to the next paragraph. We're on page 99 in the subject of Ben. And we want to call upon Alan to continue the reading.
It is
We have a long
responsibility.
paragraph here. Wow.
His
Yeah.
responsibility of the son to respect and to fear his father. If the father is sometimes angry with him and strikes or curses him for no reason other than some heartache that he has due to an unrelated incident, or because of his character or lack of intelligence, and pours upon him his anger, then the mind of the son needs to forbear everything for the sake of the honor of his creator's command. The son should not oppose him, speak callously to him, or embarrass him. Hashem forbid. Rather, he must bend his head like a reed and bear the yoke. He will not be diminished in any way. Behold, our sages in Kedushin 31a reported about Dama ben Natina that even though he was a non-Jew whose mother was insane and bound him in front of the Roman senators and threw his wallet into the sea, he did not humiliate her. As such, if one's parents are of sound mind, the son must always consider that his parents are in the right in everything they do to him. I like the way they wrote it. In everything they do to him. Is that bringing a person up? Or they
What?
do? I mean, the wording he's using, the son must always consider his parents are on the right in everything they do to him. Not give him but do to him. If it appears in his eyes that they act out of line, is because of his own deficiency. It is unfortunate habit of children that they always try to justify themselves in everything they do. It seems to the children as if their parents transfer the blame whenever they admonish them. Wouldn't they say sometimes that women want children so that they can blame the child for things that go wrong? However,
we're going to see that. That's what Rashi brings in the Chumash, the next part of Parshas. Yeah.
However, the son who possesses intelligence and whose portion is the fear of Hashem will not rationalize, nor will his heart think so. Rather, he will assume that his parents are absolutely in the right. If something is missing, it is from him. He will make his ear like a hopper to accept reproof. He will not deviate from whatever they tell him to the right or to the left, even if it appears to him that they say the right is the left. Is also a mitzvah for a son to generate merit for his parents. He should strive with all of his strength and resources to send his father and mother to the land of Israel. He must honor them in their death and do everything necessary to provide them proper internment. He must provide merit for the soul all the days of his life. These are just the beginning of the ways of uprightness and that parents and children must keep for the sake of the honor of the King of honor.
Wow, not an easy mitzvah. Keep it out of aim. Wow. Okay, so that's the Pele Yoetz is telling us for all the children, their responsibility to the parents. That it's not dependent upon the fairness or the wisdom or any other thing of what the parent does, but the child still has the mitzvah. He still has the mitzvah to honor the parents. Because why? Because the mitzvah itself is a mitzvah that Hashem is commanding him. for the sake of the honor of the King of Honor, says the Pele Yoetz. So yeah, right. And of course, I say it again. Really the only way I think that a person can do this and feel that he's not being taken advantage of, or it's not fair, that he has to be such a good son, is because he has to do, like we said yesterday, he has to take the person out of the picture and put Hashem there in place. And that's even if that person is his mother or father. That that he has to say, this is the parent that Hashem gave me, and it's good, and it's good, and I'm going to be able to get schar for doing the mitzvah of honoring them. That's the perspective. And if he has that perspective, he'll be able to do the mitzvah. But on the other hand, if he doesn't have that perspective and he keeps focusing on what the father or the mother did to him or said to him, then he'll have a very, very difficult time of fulfilling the mitzvah properly, because what the Pele Yoetz is saying over here is that the mitzvah still applies. As we see from that's what the Gemara brought from the Gemara in with the Dama ben Nasina. Who he did not even, it's in a certain sense, what do we see from that? Well, what's the significance of the fact that we're seeing a story in the Gemara about a non-Jew? I believe that the significance of that story is that obviously the non-Jew didn't have a Rebbe that taught him that he's got a mitzvah of kibbud av v'em, and it applies even whatever his parents do to him. But he understands and he feels that even on his own, that this is what makes sense. It's even logical. When one thinks about all the things that a parent, all the good that a parent confers upon him, and the first good, of course, is that the parent brought the child into the world. So the child is alive because of that. So it's something that even Damba ben Desina, right? A fair-minded person, he will come up with this on his own, even without the Torah telling him this. So lest we say, oh, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh, that's what the Torah says. Oh, so the Torah says that we get schar for narishkeit. Oh yeah, that's what the Torah gives us schar for narishkeit, for foolishness. Chas v'sholom, chas v'sholom. Therefore, the Gemara tells us, yes, here you have Doma ben Nesina. He understood, he got it, and that's the way he acted. That's the way he conducted himself with his mother. 100%. 100%. Okay. And now we go to the subject of Bas. Now it's interesting. Subject of Bas, 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 times as long as the subject of Ben. Let's go and see why that is. So we have Mayor.
Okay.
Please lead us off.
I've seen a most repulsive custom in some places that when a daughter is born, people make fun of and ridicule the event. One person says the cold is immense. Another person says, the smell is odious. These and other words of mockery are contrived such that someone whose wife gives birth to a girl cannot find place to hide from the pursuit of words of mirth and derision. This practice is disgusting to me. I invoke the verse from Mishlei, one who ridicules the poor has blasphemed his creator upon them. For this is from the hidden matters of God, the omniscient one, sorry about that he gives sons to whom he wants, and he grants daughters to whom he wishes. Consequently, one who scoffs at the birth of a daughter is demeaning God in addition to committing the terrible offense of mockery. There is even a greater folly among some ignoramuses that if one's wife gives birth to a son, he loves her and honors her greatly. However, if she gives birth to a girl, he alienates her and abandons her. How great is her loneliness and grief? How foolish are these people? What does he want from his wife? Did she go to the marketplace and choose to buy him a daughter and not a son? Furthermore, what business does he have with the hidden matters of God? Perhaps daughters will be better for him than sons, inasmuch as their fortune and portion will be good. We have seen fathers who rejoiced for their daughters together with their sons, and whose daughters' fortune in life was better than their brothers. Woe unto the man whose sons are like daughters, and even worse than daughters when they are many, for great is the number of ignoramuses, and men of brilliance are few. So many are the pains of the father of sons in regards to their Torah learning and service of God. This is not so for the father of daughters, who only has the responsibility to teach them an occupation and good character. Interesting.
He doesn't give much credit to man, does he? Woe unto the man whose sons are like daughters, and even worse than daughters when there are many. The great is the number of ignoramuses and men of brilliance and few. He doesn't give much credence to people, to men, does he?
What's that?
He says, woe unto the man whose sons are like daughters, and even worse than daughters when there are many. For great is the number of ignoramuses and men of brilliance are few. He doesn't
Yeah.
give credence.
What does he mean by this? What is he trying to say?
He doesn't think men do a good job in bringing up good children. When there are not enough.
To the man whose sons are like daughters, and even worse than daughters when they are many.
So it seems like he says that men don't do a good job of teaching their sons. So many of the pains.
Oh, that's what he means.
Right? So many of the pains of fathers of sons and daughters of Torah learning, service of God.
Well, right. That's what he says. He says the father. I mean, right. It's okay.
So I never heard that the father had an obligation to teach his daughter an occupation.
An occupation, right, neither did I.
Yeah, I'm wondering what occupation, because I thought usually the women of the household ran the household.
Mm.
Unless that's what he's trying to explain.
Yeah, see, if you're reading the Hebrew, you get a better idea of what it is that Pele Yoetz is saying. Pele Yoetz says in my Hebrew edition, he says like this. He just says Mashein Kain, which is not the case. The Abi Abonos. Well, let's just go back a little bit further to the father of sons. Right, Rabim Machovim la'avi abonim. Many pains are involved in raising the children of a father who has sons in regard to Torah and in regard to avoda, service of Hashem. Why? Because he has to make sure that they are well versed in Torah and that they are God fearing and they perform the mitzvahs of the Torah to the best of his ability. Of course, that the outcome is what happens is not in his hands, we'll say, but he has a responsibility to do everything in his power to see that they are that they are proficient in Torah and in avodas Hashem. Okay, fine. Then he says, "Mashein kain la'avi abonos," which is not so of the father of daughters. He doesn't have all of these machovim. He doesn't have all these difficulties and painful situations. Why? She'eino love tsaros abbas. He doesn't have the tsaros abbas, the afflictions of the daughter, except ki'im lalamdo meleches nashim. Only he has to teach them what he calls meleches nashim.
Oh, okay.
What's meleches nashim? What does it mean? The jobs of women.
I still claim household chores.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that they have to go to Wall Street and be a stockbroker.
So I would think it'd be the mother that would be responsible to teach the daughter the jobs of women, not the father.
Okay. He's saying that well, yeah, the father probably doesn't know too well how to do meleches nashim.
Right.
He probably is not proficient in that, but he's the one, it would seem, from the Pele Yoetz who has the responsibility to see to it that she is proficient in meleches nashim.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so in other words, yeah. All right. Okay, the next paragraph. Who's ready to read? Lou's ready to read. Second time around.
Okay, so we're therefore.
We up to the father has a mitzvah.
Okay, the father has a mitzvah to marry off his daughter when she becomes of age. in accordance with the saying of our sages, when a man's daughter becomes of age, he should be willing to free his servant and give him to her.
Free his servant and give her to him.
Give her to him. Free his servant. So we're talking about an Eved Ivri.
Eved Kanani. I
Eved
think we have to look
Kanani.
up the Gemara. Yeah. Let's see this Gemara over here. Because generally we say
bizarre.
that it's forbidden. We say it's forbidden to free a Eved Kanani, but in certain extenuating circumstances, such as he has a daughter who he has not been able to marry off. So then, what it sounds like here is that the Gemara is saying that he's got to make sure that she's married, and even if he can't find anybody else, he's got to free his Eved Kanani, and then give his daughter to the Eved Kanani, who is now a full-fledged Jew, in order that she should be married and not be unmarried. Yeah, want to take a look at that?
Yeah, this is very bizarre. Let me get the Sachin. $113B.
Okay.
Yes.
מי שהבונים ואין מגדלים לתלמוד תורה, מי שאין לו תפילין, מי שאין מעשר בחבורה של מצווה, reaching the end of the page, still didn't see it. Wow, I must have missed it. Find it?
I have not found it either. Still looking though. I'm not at the end of the page yet.
Oh, 113A. Oh, I was looking in B.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm looking at B also. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. That helps. Ah, I found it. It's near the bottom of the page. Let's see. It's Shosha Devarim Amar Rabbi Yehoshua. Okay, so it's from the bottom of the page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines up. First one of the line is Meshachkas. I read?
I don't think Rabbi Levitt's back yet. I don't know where he went.
Oh, okay.
13A. You said 5 lines up?
Yeah, if you have the art scroll, it's on 13A3, the right-hand column, the last paragraph.
Oh, okay, let's see.
If your daughter has reached maturity and she is still single, free your slave and give him to her in marriage.
Uh-huh.
The word for slave is it just says abdicha. It doesn't say whether it's what kind of slave it is. Let's see. Let's look at the footnote. It's so important for one that one marry off his daughter as soon as she reaches maturity that one should rather have her marry his freed slave than have her remain single.
Wow.
The scriptural source is from the following verse, Chronicles. Shishan had no sons, but only daughters. Shishan had an Egyptian servant whose name was Jarka. Okay, so that's an Eved Kenani.
Mhm.
Shishan gave his daughter to his servant Jarka for a wife. Rashi. In the era of the Talmud, it was customary for a girl to marry at about the age of 12. At 12 and a half years, she became a Bogeris, and as our Gemara says, was considered as having passed the optimum time for marriage.
Wow.
See Tanis 13b. Indeed, the Gemara Sanhedrin condemns a father who holds back his Bogeris daughter from marrying so that he can retain her domestic services.
Hmm.
Wow. Goes on and on, but now I think it's just talking about the age. It's not talking about our subject.
Giving it to a freed servant, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Wow.
It doesn't really
Okay, sorry
explain.
for that delay.
So, Rabbi, I found it. It's 8 lines up from the bottom of the page.
Um, 8 lines from the bottom of page 113A.
Yeah, it says three things.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shlosha three things. Gimel Devarim Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Anshe Yerushalayim K'shata Yotze L'Milchama Al Teitze Barishona. That doesn't sound like it. V'yaseh Shabbat Chachol. That doesn't sound like it. V'havi Mishtadel Imi Shasha Mashchekes Glo. Doesn't sound like it.
Maybe you're in the
Okay.
wrong place. I'm looking at
No, that
Itcha Bigra Shecharer Abdecha B'tein Loch. First word on the line is Mishchakas.
Yeah. Well, there must be another mashkekes over here because I don't see anything related. One second. Here we go. Omer of Shua ben Levi, Mishum Anshi Rishalayim. Altarbe begenus Mishum Masa Shahaya Bitcha Bagra Shachara Abdecha B'tein Law.
yeah, that's our statement here.
Maybe that's what you're referring to. So 1 second over here. What?
Yes, that's it.
What? Okay. Shlosha Dvarim Omer B'Shua ben Levi Mishum Anshi Yerushalayim. Atarba begenus. Altarba begenus. Mishum Masa Shahaya. That's with Batsheva. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
Bitcha Bagra. Oh, Bitcha Bagra. Your daughter has become of age.
Does that mean a Bulgarian?
Yeah, Bagra. She's become of age and really past the age. I
She's
guess.
12 and a half.
And you haven't yet found anyone to. That's what it sounds like. You haven't found anybody suitable to marry her. So that's what it says. Shachrer Abdecha, free your Eved Kanani. B'tein Lo, and give her to the Eved Kanani, that she should marry the Eved Kanani, who now, after he's been freed, of course, is a Ben Chorin. It's a full-fledged Jew. Because you can't marry your daughter to an Eved Kanani. So, but you have to be Meshachrer. Shachrar means to free your Eved. So there it is. There it is.
It doesn't
Okay,
explain how we get around the prohibition of freeing your Eved.
Well, there even in order to make a minyan, that you should have 10 people to daven in a minyan. The Gemara says that that's already grounds to free the Eved.
In other words,
So
you can
we
free
see-
the Eved if you have a reason. You just can't do it for no reason.
right. I mean, there may be maybe it has to be a good reason. That's considered a good reason. But just pointing out, if that's considered a good reason, then I would certainly say that if one's daughter is not married and she has to be married because it's getting, you don't want her to be hanging around, not being married, that's already a sufficient reason, according to Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, in the name of Anshe Yerushalayim, to marry her off, even to an Eved Kanani that you have to free. Oh, now I have actually something over here in a note. There is a note over here I have. Afsha Mashachrer Abdo over Be'ese, even though a person who frees his Eved Kanani has violated a positive commandment, Shenemar, like it says in the Pasuk in Vayikra 25:46, La'olam behem ta'avodu, they should work for you forever. So here we see clearly we are not talking about an Eved Ivri. An Eved Ivri, he's only going to be working for you for 6 years, and then he goes out free. If Yovel doesn't come before that, then he goes out when Yovel comes. So it could be even 2 years. That's an Eved Ivri. But an Eved Kanani, this is what this pasuk is talking about, and so therefore we have a question: what's the heter to free this Eved Kanani? So we explain over here: Kol tam ha'isur hu mishum she'asor l'teit lahem matnas chinam. U'lachein b'makom mitzvah shemeshachrim l'tzarko lo yigozru. Shemitzinu sheRebbi Eliezer shacher es abdoi kedei lahashlimo la'asara. The mavor begitten. Okay, so this is okay. So I'll translate. So we said that even though he's violating a positive commandment when he frees an Eved, but according to the Rabbeinu Nisim, that gives this reason that we're saying over here. The whole reason for the Isser to free the Eved is because it's you're not allowed to give a present for no reason to a non-Jew, and an Eved Kanani is considered to be a non-Jew. Very interesting, even though he's chayiv in all mitzvahs of an Isha, and he has to even undergo a conversion, but he's still considered in a certain sense a non-Jew. And the proof is that you can't marry your daughter off to him. You have to free him, and then he'll become a full-fledged Jew, and then your daughter could marry, then you could give your daughter to him. And so therefore, here, you're not giving him just a present for nothing, for no good reason. Not at all. This is a b'makom mitzvah. The father has a mitzvah. He's got a very important mitzvah, an obligation to marry off his daughter, to see that his daughter is married, and therefore that's considered to be a very great need of the father. In that case, there's no prohibition against freeing the Eved Kanani. And then he mentions that this is what Rebbe Eliezer did. He freed his Eved Kanani in order that he should have a minyan to daven in. Not the Eved Kanani, the Rebbe Eliezer. And that's a Gemara in Gittin 38b. And this is the commentary of the Ran over in Gittin. Okay. Right. Okay, so should we continue?
Yeah. Her father and mother must be vigilant with 7 eyes that she should not compromise her honor, because it is her father that she disgraces. It is a mitzvah to heed the words of the sages and to marry her off as soon as he is able. It is also a mitzvah for the father to increase her dowry in accord with his means, in order to attract for her an appropriate match. The saying of our sages is well known, that a man should sell all that he has in order to marry off his daughter to a Torah scholar. There are many poor people whose ardent desire is to wed their daughter to a Torah scholar, but cannot do so due to their financial disability. Nevertheless, they still have the responsibility to do everything within their power and to jump over mountains to raise sufficient funds in order to marry her off to a scholar. If they are not fiscally capable, or there is no sage eligible in their vicinity, nonetheless, they should choose a fine young man who knows how to learn and is God-fearing. He should not give his daughter to an ignoramus, a man of misdeed, for it is like throwing his daughter to the dogs. She will harbor a complaint against him all the days of her life, for he has tainted her. One who taints his own flesh is cruel. Our sages said, be deliberate when you marry. Likewise, a father must deliberate before he offers his daughter to a man in marriage. And he must thoroughly investigate his past until he clearly knows his nature and is satisfied that he is a good person. Then he should give his daughter to him. In truth, a good wife is a gift from God, because he is the one who makes matches and brings separate people together in one house. Nevertheless, a reconciliation has already been suggested in the entry Zivug. See over there.
Zivug, yes.
Okay, so if we want reconciliation, we have to take a look in further on in Zivug. So that'll be in Zion, just up to base.
It seems to me that this emphasis on money is a big mistake. It causes a lot of problems in society, and it's not a guarantee of that you're going to get a quality mate. In fact, it might be the opposite. It might be an indication that they're just interested in profit and not in quality of the person.
Yeah, it's well, that's what he says. A father has to thoroughly investigate the past of this prospective son-in-law. make sure that he's a good person. That's what he's got to do. It's not enough to simply say, "Oh, I'm offering X amount of money," and then automatically that will only attract people who are fitting. He's got to do his proper birurim, they call them here in Eretz Israel. And that's a whole subject. And yeah, that's the story. So absolutely, one should check very, very much into the young man's record, and also, tell you the truth, of the family as well, because it's not only the son that your daughter is marrying, it's also the son's family that she is marrying. And even though he doesn't say it over here, that's what I would say. But so and the truth to be told is that it's only ishtadlis, and it also doesn't guarantee anything, because that's what he says over here. The one who makes the match is a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And a person could have done all of their investigations and everything, and still Hashem is the one who makes the match. And that's the way it is. But that's the what I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what he means over here when he says a reconciliation has been suggested. Not sure what he's referring to. Maybe I'll take a look in the Hebrew. What do you think he means? Oh, it's 11:31. Okay, that's the reconciliation. We don't have to reconcile any further. It's okay. We send off Mayor. Have a great day.
Have a good